Maggie, you've got all of these fresh ingredients. What are you doing?
Well, I'm making this fantastic salad, and it's a Lebanese bread salad, Fattoush. And it's so great because, you know, you can use what you've got to hand, but there are basic things you must have, like sumac and Lebanese bread. And I know just the place you can go and find them if you don't want to make the bread yourself.
Maggie, I love this bread. I think the world is a better place for Lebanese bread. You know, the gluten, it's so stretchy but thin. I just love it, I really do. So I thought I'd make a falafel and a little dipping sauce to go with the bread because they're some of my favourite ingredients.
Well, I was going to make my own bread, and seeing this quality, I'm not going to try and compete.
Oh, it really is good,
Yeah.
isn't it? Well, like falafel, I don't know why people buy the packet mix stuff. I do like making my own, and it's about planning, it's not hard. That's your chickpeas, they've been soaked overnight. Drain them off, and they're uncooked, they're raw. Okay, so first give them a quick pulse, and get them to sort of a coarse grind. Now, I do like some texture in my falafel, but this is personal. If you want to take them to a very fine one, that's okay, but for me, that's perfect. And then I'm going to grind a little bit further. Fold in the onion, that's an onion. Fair bit of garlic. Cumin and coriander. Now, a little bit of green chilli. I put a lot, but I'm being nice to you, Maggie. And that's mint. I'm not going to add the flour until I'm comfortable with what sort of consistency I've got.
Okay.
Coriander, a lot. So I'm aiming for, and this is parsley, for a green puree, not a brown falafel with spots of green in it.
So you don't need to put oil in it?
I'm hoping not to. Okay, so I think I'm there now. So that's not going to come together into a ball. There's no way. So let's fold in a little bit of flour, and of course I've forgotten the seasoning. I'll nick a bit of your salt,
sure.
Maggie. And it does need a fair bit of seasoning. Now, give it another pulse.
You wouldn't use a chickpea flour.
You could. I think you could. I've never done it, but I don't see why you couldn't. Now, it's starting to look like I could get it to form a ball. Now, I like to lighten them up because they can be a bit...
really dirgy.
Yeah, that's a good word. So a bit of baking powder, but you don't have to do that. And it just sort of, as they fry, they just puff a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. So by golf ball, I mean about, I don't play golf, but I'm assuming that's about the size. And make them into little discs.
Well, do you want me to help you with that?
Well,
or...
that would be really good.
And then we'll get those done.
We can do the Lebanese bakery family effort. I've got a pot of water here because I find that a little bit helpful.
I just want to get the feel of it myself.
Okie dokie. So the only problem with the water is you've got to be careful you don't introduce too much water into the mix, I guess. That's a danger.
Okay, so the water is just to clean your hands in between.
Yeah, and I mean, you can use a bit of oil because then it will incorporate a little bit of oil into the mix. I generally quite happy to have the chickpeas soaking in the fridge for a couple of days. If I didn't get around to it the first day, then get onto it later. I also like to make up a mix and then just put it in a container and keep it in the fridge. There's not really anything
So
deadly.
it won't oxidise?
The mint seems to go a bit brown in the mix, but I'm not that fussy. I didn't really know what falafel was for years because I'd eaten bad ones so often. And then I ate a good one, actually on Hindley Street.
And once you eat the fresh ones, they're just fantastic. Well, that's what we do for a takeaway.
Do
I
you?
get the falafel and Colin gets gyros, and we have to open the window because I can't bear the smell of the garlic. It is so overpowering.
Now, if you're worried that you've got them a bit too sloppy as well, another trick is just to chuck them in the fridge for a minute. They tend to just firm up. I do like to coat them in sesame. I think it's really nice. So a few sesame seeds and then just dump them in. And then I'll just pop over and do a quick fry-off, Maggie.
While you're finishing that, I'm
Yeah.
going to get my dressing made. Very, very simple.
Okay.
And it calls for very finely chopped garlic. Now, I find just that little bit of salt, making almost a cream of the garlic with the large part of the knife, and it really makes it lovely and fine. But that's just a little trick for people like me who find chopping really, really finely is hard. Then add your extra virgin olive oil. I want to make sure this garlic is really dispersed. And then this beautiful sumac. Now, the reason you've got to go to a really great Lebanese or Mediterranean shop is to get the fresh sumac. Then the lemon juice. And because I've had salt on the garlic, I'm certainly not going to need salt. A bit of pepper. And it can just stand there while you fry those off, if you like.
So, Maggie, this oil's ready, and I'm just plopping them in. And if the oil's too hot, I normally pull them out if the sesame seeds are getting too brown, if I had the oil too hot, and then plop them back in later.
OK.
And the other one that I'm notorious for is pulling them out too early when they're not cooked in the middle because I made them too fat, in which case I double fry them again because then they don't burn. Because I do get sometimes a little bit gung-ho with my temperature. It's called impatience.
But you know how to pull it back too.
I think when I see that it's going really dark, not just the sesame, but the outside of the falafel, then I'll pull it up, I'll let it sit, and they tend to get there under their own steam because there's so much heat from the frying.
Well, can I go ahead with mine then?
Yeah.
I've just got my ingredients here, which are the tomato, the Lebanese cucumbers, chopped up, the shallots, sliced, thinly sliced, lots of parsley, lots of mint. That's the really important, you know, lots of the herbs. Just half of this vinaigrette onto the salad now for that all to infuse. Then this lovely Lebanese bread I want to pan fry in some extra virgin olive oil. So how are yours going?
Yeah, and they're not bad. I'm just thinking you're not far off from a Lebanese panzanella here, are you?
Well, it's very similar, isn't it?
It is.
Now, they take hardly any cooking at all because obviously the bread is already cooked and I want them to be crisp, but I don't want them to go really, really hard. So I'm ready to put mine together.
OK.
Oh, I just love this. But I do want to make sure it's all really mixed around. I'm not going to use all of this vinaigrette because I don't want it to be soaking, but I need some of that flavour sort of infused into the bread as well. And plate it up. Mine's ready.
Well, my last three are nearly ready. And like I said, they generally will get there under their own steam. I sometimes get a bit impatient and I'll confess to you, Maggie, sometimes I pop them in the microwave for 30 seconds. I've seen them do them in the shop. I know it's not right, but they will get there. And I just need to make a dippy sauce. So yogurt. The reason I need a dippy sauce is probably if I'd put oil in the falafel, I'd be OK, but because I've left it oil-free, I want some curry. So yogurt tahini.
Oh, I love tahini.
Oh, I just love it. It's just great, isn't it? And much like you, mushy garlic, clove or two, and lemon juice, about a lemon.
OK.
And chuck the falafels on the plate. I'm hoping that they're cooked in the middle. If not, we'll just eat the crusts. Now, sometimes these will make you fluff a little bit because the chickpeas, but that's all part of it. I have occasionally just slightly cooked the chickpeas. I mean, not very long at all.
OK.
And from my experiments in the fluff department, I think that does improve matters. That's all part of eating it. A few of the herbs, a little bit of the paprika, and can I nick some of your nice olive oil, Maggie?
Yeah,
that would be
sure.
really float on top. And rip up the bread.
OK.
So we got a little
game.
feast, haven't we?
In true Lebanese style.
Yeah. I want to give that a shot while the bread's still crispy.
OK, go for it. Oh, I love this.
That's great. You couldn't do it with another bread, could you?
No. Sumac is citrusy, but it has other levels. So refreshing.
And it's not overly acidic. It's really nicely balanced. And I love these crispy bits of bread. That's really, really nice. Well, we've almost got the same ingredients. You know, herbs and herby-wise. I was a bit nervous, so I snuck to see if they were cooked, and they're just perfect. When they're all just bound together and there's a little bit of steam coming off them, I do like to squash them, just flatten them up. But I'm going to have a shot. Bit of bread, bit of yogurt, tahini.
I'll go for the full sesame hit.
I tell you, it's very little work for such a fresh, beautiful thing, isn't it? It's a good one for kids. They really enjoy making it. But
Look at that vibrant colour.
not strictly authentic. That's my version because I like it.
And that's what I love.
But the feast, Maggie, this is great. Having all of this stuff. I'm going to go back for more of this. I love it.
And I think Lebanese really know how to eat. They really do.